Hello. Well, I still need gas. Well, it's doing okay. It's 220 miles so far on the gas tank. The dealer actually filled it up completely for me, which is cool. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and it's not raining at the moment, although it probably will. I thought I would do a more official discussing of the bike and maybe an actual walk around, reveal, whatever. Clearly you know what bike it is already by the title of the video probably, and just looking at the cockpit here. So I ended up selecting a dealer down in Oregon, basically just east of Salem. For those of you who watch Dork in the Road, it's the same dealer he goes to, or he got his. They had a bit of a better deal overall than the dealer up here, just north of me. Let's see, I think I want to turn left here. Yeah, I gotta get that clutch adjusted. I have to fiddle with this just a little bit more. I don't want it grabbing. Okay, that feels better. That's more in line. Alright. Alright. We'll see. We'll get it. We'll play with it. The bite point's a bit better. I like where that shifts. We'll see. I might need a little more tension on there. Anyway, where was I? So, yeah, so anyway, my wife had to go down to see her mother in Oregon. So I hitched a ride with her, and she was nice enough to take me the extra hour down to Salem. Bought the bike and rode it home. So the trip back, like I said, was about 3.5 hours-ish. Wow. The Canadians are heading south? Is that where they're going? It's winter? Or, I don't know. Don't know anything about migratory patterns, these things. So I left the dealer there and spent, I don't know, probably about 15 minutes-ish on some country roads. I didn't jump straight on the highway. I took a little detour through a little bit of farmland and rode it up, took some pictures. And then I hopped on the freeway and basically rode home. They told me not to leave it at the same RPM too long during the break-in. So I was taking exits even though I didn't need to. That way I could get down through the gears and back up through the gears. And let's see, I'm at 112. Aha! I'm gonna turn right here. I'm gonna probably get gas at the Safeway. They got a pretty good value. And then I also stopped briefly at the town of Kalama and took another couple pictures. And the rain started. There home, which was another couple hours, it was basically a downpour. Probably the worst rain I've ever been in for that long. I was spending a lot of time avoiding the spray, because vehicles would go by you and just you get hosed with the spray. And so I spent a lot of time avoiding that. So when they would go by, I would slow down to, 50 or whatever. Well, it's probably about as cold as I've ever been on a bike. I was fully kitted up, I had all my gear on, but eventually the rain broke through, and it was 40 degrees, so it wasn't insanely cold, but when you're soaked to the bone, it's cold. Alright, sorry, I was just got some gas. So what I was saying is, on the freeway, I-5 northbound, this thing is great. I mean, I wasn't doing 70 miles an hour. I was trying to avoid too much of the spray. So yeah, on the freeway, it was comfortable, and just even that first few miles on that country road, I really got the sense of how neutral this bike is. Steering wise, it's nothing like the Versus. I was very unsure what I was going to have from the 21-inch front wheel, and I sort of made an assumption that the steering would be a bit heavy, but it's not at all. The agility is there, and the thing I like about it is steering into the corners, it doesn't dive in suddenly. That's one thing with the Versus. You think you need to corner, so you steer into the corner and you find yourself at the apex wondering how you got there so quickly. With this bike, it wasn't like that at all. I didn't need to shift. It's still learning how tall the gears are and what they're like. So, you head into the corner and it's just so well balanced. It felt sort of like I was controlling with my mind. It was like we're turning and it's perfect and it's just stable and around the corner, and I wasn't hauling ass or dragging knees or anything. And, reviews don't start for me until I've done thousands of miles. I mean, there's people who go out and do a quote long-term review and they've only had it for 1,000 miles. I'm thinking that's a long weekend, maybe a week, and that's not enough time to get to know the bike. But so far, super impressed. I don't know what else to say. This bike, I mean, I've had a lot of motorcycles. I think I have a video of it where I kind of go through my history. And so for me, the context of this bike, the immediate context, is the Versus. So I have a Versus 650, and if you look at the previous bunch of videos, it's all Versus 650. I mean, a few on the infield. But that bike has a completely different power delivery. It's got a different sort of level of dynamism, being dynamic, in terms of it's sort of a sports touring bike, junior sports touring bike. It's not some hardcore touring bike. It's definitely not a sport bike, but it's really right in between the two, and I mean, fantastic machine. Absolutely love that bike. And so, getting onto this one, things feel a little different. The vibrations are a little different. The way the clutch engages, like this, was different. So everything's different, and so I'm having to sift through to try to determine what is good versus bad versus just unfamiliar. Because it's easy to say, well, this isn't as, quote, good as my other bike, or as some bike, or a theoretical bike, when it's not meant to be, or it's never going to be. A single is never going to be like a smoothness of an inline four. An inline four is never going to have the same power delivery as a twin, right? That kind of stuff. And so for me, this is my first big single, and so there's definitely the sense of, you know, in one regard for me, getting used to what that means. I've seen a bunch of videos and people talk about the character, they talk about vibration, they talk about torque, and all the things. And so I have a certain amount of anticipation for what it's going to be like. But it's definitely different when you're experiencing yourself than just seeing somebody else. And so far, I gotta say, I love it. I mean, it's like I said, it's been 227 miles, so that's not enough to say anything, you know, objective. But absolutely love it so far. Let's go left. Where was I? What was I talking about? Jeez, I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, I know what it was. So one thing that, out of all the bikes I've had, and maybe the closest in terms of the just pure emotional feel, jeez, is the Royal Enfield, or maybe the Bonneville when I had it, is that this bike is relaxing and casual. And even with my Versys, it wasn't all that powerful, although it had its areas where it get up and move, boogie a bit, and it had enough power and enough character that it was a lot of fun, right? It was never gonna tear holes in the fabric of space, but it got you where you needed to go. The thing that the Versys, compared to, say, this one or like an Enfield or a bike like that, is that it was the kind of bike that you went places on, just by its nature. So even if that was just a road nearby, like a town, you want to go and it's an hour away or 2 hours away or something, you get on that bike and you're like, okay, now I'm going to this place, I'm going to do this thing. And so that's kind of how the mentality I had with it. It was never a bike that I would poodle around on. The Enfield I could poodle around on. The Versys, that wasn't the character. I just didn't enjoy that on it. With this bike, I just don't feel the need to, I'm not in a hurry. And I like that. I can just get out and do this and actually just sort of have that sense of enjoying being on two wheels. I don't want to say like I'm a kid again, or, you know, it's like buying my first bike again or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I'm talking more just a casual approach to traveling. And this bike just feels like that. The spirit is, all right, let's go someplace. Let's go see stuff. For no reason other than to see it. It's all day comfortable. Like I said, I rode it 3.5 hours, had no discomfort at all, other than freezing in the rain. That's not the bike's fault. And, you know, in terms of the grips, the pegs, the seats, all perfectly comfortable. Oh yeah, feel the power. Nope. That is not what this bike is about. I could have gone there. Yeah, I'll go this way. Oop. So if you're wondering what this light is, there's nothing wrong, but the dealership had a technical glitch with Kawasaki when they sold the bike. This is their story anyway. They're supposed to unlock it. There's like a code that they plug in, and Kawasaki uses that to track when bikes are sold or something. And their system was down, so they told me I need to go to the dealer around here to get it unlocked. Hopefully that's no charge. from a landscape photography viewpoint, I like this pond here. It's kind of got an interest to it and stuff. And then over here we got some just old stuff. Oh, the plane's gone. You got a plane right there. That's pretty cool. If that wasn't actually used by guys, I'd go there and do the walk around there. I just, you know, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I could turn here. I have no idea if this is a good road or not. Those clouds look rainy. So, there it is. I mean, you've probably seen 100 videos. It's the same bike everybody else has. It's the base model, so no ABS, no bags or anything. As I mentioned, I did do... I put on my ADV mirrors, and I actually stole the... Well, I didn't steal them because I own it, but these are from actually the Versus LT, and they are pretty beefy. I've crashed on them or toppled over on the Versus a couple times, and they've been great. So I'm putting them on here instead of buying some new ones. You know, why spend the money? I already had them. And then these are the pegs I mentioned. The level, I think they're just ever so slightly this way. I really don't want to just make do. I'd rather actually get something that's comfortable and works. So if I have to spend a little bit of money to get new pegs, pegs aren't that expensive. And I've been selling a bunch of stuff on eBay to help fund purchasing things, and so that's top of my list. The other is the bash plate. This is actually fairly beefy, and I think from a kicking rocks up viewpoint, it'll be plenty fine, you know, in terms of gravel road or something. If I'm spitting rocks, no big deal, protection. My problem is that a number of the trails I go on, you know, tend to have trees that are down, and so there's no real protection here where the drain plug is. So I'm looking at T-Rex makes a bash plate that's thick steel, and this T-Rex is what I have on the Versus, and that would go under there all the way back over the drain plug, and I'll put the low profile plug bolt on there, and I think that would give me the protection I need. But part of my issue with why I may hold off is, well, one, because I'm not doing those kinds of trails, but two, T-Rex does traditionally a crash bar bash plate combo, and they give you a discount, right? So you buy both, and that's what I did with the Versus. I had the wraparound crash bar protection plus the bash plate, and it was like $350 or something. You know, I better get rolling because we're going to get some rain action going on. Is there anything else I need to talk about with this thing? I'm sure I will. That's my walk around, you know, because it's got to be done. If you have any questions about the bike, you know, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let's turn right here. I have no idea where this goes. Let's stand her up. We're heading back. Oh, see, it just does that so well. The thing that I can say about it, in terms of the, like I said, the bit of a country road that I've done down just leaving the dealer, and then even like around here, it's not like I'm going all that fast. I get it, but I get up to speed without even noticing. It's just, I really like that. It's like a whoosh. Let's go left here, I guess. Bentley, gotta do Bentley. One of the things I can definitely say about this bike is that Kawasaki made a travel bike. This isn't really an ADV bike. Not really. I know they're kind of trying to dress up their adventure to be like an adventure bike, right? Trying to fit, fit it into the market. But in terms of the way that it's configured, this bike is really designed and ready to... Where am I? I know where I am. Okay. Hello. It's designed for travel, right? You take this thing across the state, across the country. That's what this bike is for. Easily. It's really designed for sitting. It's super comfortable for sitting. Pretty much everything about it is like, hey, let's just go all day, every day, as opposed to, you know, ADV bikes that are kind of let's go hit the trails hard and then go home, right? Like if you get yourself a T7 or an Africa Twin or a KTM, was it 890 now? So it's not really an ADV bike per se, although lots of people, and I'm going to be using it for the same thing, are doing ADV type stuff with it. Definitely looking forward to it. Spending some time, getting to really know it. Let's turn back on Vickery, I think. All I can tell you is how I feel riding it, and I love riding this thing. I feel relaxed and chill. I feel like I could, like I said, go do some stuff that I would never do on the other bikes because it's just not a serious bike. I had a saying years ago, you know, when I became a serious motorcyclist, I realized I was doing it wrong. And that's exactly how I feel on this. I am not serious. I'm a casual biker. I'm a relaxed biker. I'm a guy who's having fun on his motorcycle. And in my case, like I said, I'm gonna make it my only bike. At least that's the plan. Sell the other two. And my plan is to make some videos. If you like what you see, you know, feel free to keep watching. It does that kind of stuff really well. They got that nailed. Low speed maneuverability on this bike is insanely good. The steering angle, is that what it is? The circle is best I've ever had. Anyway, that's all I got. Life is short. Get out and ride the best roads.